You got real funky with me.
I didn't get funky.
You got funky. Instead of being like, my bad, I'm sorry, whatever. You just going on with this like tough energy, like.
Tough energy? Why I gotta be tough energy?
It's not loving energy. Find out information that I didn't even know about you.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about? So there's a lot of, so we're gonna sit here and talk about all the we didn't know? That's what you wanna do?
What started as a calm sit-down turned into a full-blown emotional explosion between love and hip-hop power couple Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris, and the cameras caught everything. What should have been a peaceful moment to clear the air between husband and wife turned into a fiery confrontation that left cast members shocked and producers scrambling to shut it down. According to insiders, Yandy walked into the meeting ready to express her growing frustrations about feeling unseen and unheard. But Mendeecees?
I'm going to Puerto Rico with Scrappy, so I wanted us to talk. You got an attitude. You like you got something to get off your chest. You want to get something off your chest. I'm right here.
The conversation with your mother, it just felt like it went left for no reason.
So what, you think my energy was off?
Yeah, even when I grabbed your water, you like, why you touching my water?
Wait, hold on, please, wait. You said, I touch your water. Like, now you're making a big deal out of little things like that?
But that's what it's been. It's little things become a big deal with you nowadays. And I'm like, what's going on? It felt like an attack.
Like you're making something that's not a problem. I don't want to deal with it.
I'm confused because I thought we came here to make peace and Yandy came here to talk.
He wasn't having it. Instead of listening, he flipped the script, accusing Yandy of weaponizing her independence and emasculating him in front of the world. The room fell silent. Insults were thrown, tears were shed, and when Yandy stormed out with her mic still hot, what she muttered under her breath had everyone frozen. I should have never married him. Now the internet is in shambles. Fans are divided. Is Mendeecees feeling insecure, or finally speaking his truth? Has Yandy reached her breaking point after years of loyalty? One thing's for sure, this sit-down turned into a showdown. And LHHATL Season 13 just hit a level nobody saw coming. When Yandy sat down at that restaurant table, she wasn't ready for a fight, but Mendeecees came with armor on. The energy was tense from the first minute. No smiles, no warmth, just that heavy silence that said something wasn't right. Producers had hoped this would be a simple relationship check-in, a grown folks talk that would help resolve the low-key tension that had been building between them all season. But what they got was a ticking time bomb laced with unspoken resentment, bruised egos, and years of emotional debt. Yandy kicked things off gently. She thanked Mendeecees for showing up, then slid into her concerns like she was tiptoeing through a minefield. Lately, she began, I've been feeling like I'm doing a lot as a mom, as a businesswoman, as your wife, and I'm not feeling seen. I'm not saying you're a bad man. I'm saying I feel like I'm disappearing inside your shadow. Her voice trembled, not from fear but exhaustion. But Mendeecees? He didn't blink. He crossed his arms and leaned back, his jaw tight. So now I'm the problem? I come home. I show up. I don't cheat. And now I'm making you invisible? Yandy froze. That wasn't what she said. But she knew that tone, defensive, wounded, ready to strike. She tried again. It's not that simple. You show up physically, yes. But emotionally? Spiritually? I'm carrying us on my back. That's when it snapped. Mendeecees slammed his hand lightly on the table, not hard enough to be violent, but loud enough to make the cameras shake. That's cap, Yandy. You acting like you're the only one with pressure. Like I ain't got stress. Like I don't make sacrifices. You want applause for being a strong woman. But when do I get a minute to breathe? The air left the room. Even the crew looked uncomfortable. This wasn't TV acting, this was real-life hurt boiling over. Yandy's eyes filled with tears. She didn't yell. She didn't curse. She just whispered, You don't have to compete with me, Mendeecees. I'm not your enemy. I just want a partner who lifts me up when I'm tired instead of making me feel guilty for being strong. His response? Cold. Maybe I'm tired of always feeling like the weak one just 'cause I don't talk like you or move like you. Maybe you like being the star." The silence was deafening. That was when Yandy stood up. Mic still on, cameras still rolling. She looked him dead in the eye and said, "You think I like carrying the weight? I do it because I have to, not because I want to. And if you can't see that, maybe we don't belong at the same table anymore." She turned to walk away, but the mic caught what she muttered under her breath. "I should have never married him." And that's all it took. Twitter exploded. Instagram flooded with reposts. TikTok creators stitched the clip in real time. The fanbase was in shambles. Was this the beginning of the end for LHHATL's most stable couple? By the time Yandy's mic drop hit the editing booth, producers knew they had struck gold, but in real life, the fallout was heartbreaking. After walking out of the tense sit-down with Mendeecees, Yandy reportedly didn't return any calls from VH1 for 3 days. No texts, no responses, not even from castmates. When she finally posted on Instagram, it wasn't a selfie or glam promo. It was a black square with 3 words, "I'm not okay." And that said it all. Back in NYC, Mendeecees was telling a very different story. According to sources close to the production crew, he'd been venting off-camera for weeks about feeling disrespected in his own marriage. He told a producer in confidence, "It's like I'm just the guy who messed up, and now I'm always one step behind her. No matter what I do, it's not enough. When's my redemption arc?" But fans weren't feeling that logic. When that line leaked, social media lit up. "Redemption arc? You mean after she held it down while you did time? Sir, this is not a Marvel movie." The fans were choosing sides and most weren't on his. Meanwhile, Yandy's silence was speaking volumes. She canceled an appearance on a Black women's entrepreneur panel in Atlanta, backed out of a brand collab shoot, and reportedly told her team she needed time to breathe and not be strong for once. That phrase stuck with people. Not be strong for once. It resonated in a deep, painful way. Women all over the country, especially Black women, flooded her page with messages of love, support, and solidarity. One viral comment read, "Yandy, it's okay to fall apart when you've been the glue for too long." Back at VH1, producers were quietly reshaping the LHHATL Season 13 arc. What was supposed to be a mid-season filler storyline had exploded into the most emotional and realist arc the franchise had seen in years. Forget petty beefs and forced friendships, this was raw marriage drama, and the viewers couldn't look away. That week, Yandy finally agreed to a one-on-one confessional. She walked in, sat down, and looked straight into the camera, with no glam, no stylist, just truth. "I never thought I'd question us, not after all we've been through, but something about that conversation broke something in me. Maybe it was already cracked, maybe I just didn't want to see it." She paused, wiped her cheek, and said something that sent chills through the internet. "I've been loyal, but I don't know if I've been loved the way I need." That line alone became the episode title. And while fans were praising her vulnerability, Mendeecees was doubling down on his own version. He sat down in a confessional of his own, saying, "I love my wife. I respect her hustle, but I feel like I'm walking on eggshells in my own house. I get punished forever for my past. When is it okay for me to say I need support too?" He had a point, but the delivery felt defensive, not reflective, and people picked up on it. Tamar Braxton even chimed in, tweeting, "There's a difference between being overlooked and being insecure. Men gotta learn how to sit in discomfort without deflecting it on their woman." The tension began bleeding into the cast. Carly Red, in typical fashion, stirred the pot at a group dinner, asking, "So, are Yandy and Mendeecees still living together? Or, nah?" Spice rolled her eyes. Erica Mena said nothing, but her facial expression said everything. Yandy's close friend Keisha, who had appeared in earlier seasons, revealed during a separate interview that Yandy had already packed a bag and checked into a hotel after that sit-down. "She just needed space," Keisha said. "Not to punish him, but to protect her peace." That's when rumors started flying. Was this really just a fight, or the beginning of a real separation? 3 days after the explosive sit-down, Mendeecees showed up at Yandy's hotel, cameras in tow. It wasn't staged. He had no flowers, no smooth lines, just a desperate look in his eyes and an apology that almost came too late. The network rushed to capture it. He knocked once, twice, and when Yandy opened the door, her face said it all. Shock, sadness, and a flicker of hope she didn't want to admit was still there. "I just came to talk," he said quietly. "I don't want cameras. I just want my wife." But the cameras kept rolling from a respectful distance. Inside the suite, the conversation began slow, cautious. Mendeecees tried to explain. "I felt invisible too. Not because of what you did, but because I never felt good enough after what I put you through. So every time you shined, it reminded me of how I failed." Yandy's eyes softened, but her voice was still strong. "So you punished me for surviving what you caused?" That hit hard. Mendeecees looked down. "I guess I did. I'm sorry. I really am. I just wanted to feel like I mattered." What followed was one of the rawest scenes ever filmed on LHHATL. No shouting, no table flipping, just two people sitting in the ruins of their relationship, wondering if love alone was still enough to rebuild it. But then came the twist. Yandy revealed something she hadn't shared with anyone, not producers, not castmates, not even social media. "I talked to a lawyer," she said quietly. "I asked about separation. Not because I don't love you, but because I needed to know what peace might look like." The camera caught Mendeecees' entire face drop. "You serious?" he asked, stunned. She nodded. "I had to ask. Because every time I bring up my needs, it turns into me making you feel small. And I'm tired of shrinking myself just to keep this marriage breathing." Mendeecees wiped his face. "I didn't know it was that bad." Yandy shrugged. "That's the problem. You never do." That line, "you never do," echoed through the episode like a warning siren. It hit viewers hard. The fan reaction was massive. TikTok creators stitched their own relationship stories into the moment. Therapists on IG went live to dissect the emotional burden women carry in marriages where they're expected to hold the weight and the blame. Yandy became a symbol again, not just of resilience, but of finally refusing to break just to make someone else whole. And while Mendeecees apologized, while he promised change, the damage was already unraveling behind the scenes. VH1 sources confirmed that Yandy was officially listed as non-committal for filming the remainder of the season. Her team reportedly told production, "She's not quitting, but don't assume she's showing up." Mendeecees, on the other hand, returned to set solo. And it was awkward. He showed up for group scenes. He answered questions. But it was clear he was on emotional autopilot. Even castmates like Spice and Carly kept their distance. The vibe had shifted. The couple everyone thought was unbreakable was visibly breaking. The tension didn't stop at the hotel room. As filming resumed for LHHATL Season 13, Yandy and Mendeecees found themselves on opposite sides, not just emotionally, but physically too. At a group cast dinner meant to bring unity and closure, Yandy showed up alone. She kept her sunglasses on indoors, not because she was hiding, but because her eyes told a story no camera could fully capture. Across the table, Mendeecees was seated next to Scrappy, barely speaking. The rest of the cast treaded lightly. Everyone knew they were witnessing a love unravel in real time. Carly Red, never one to stay quiet, made the moment worse. "So, are we single or just mad for the cameras?" she smirked. Yandy's smile was cold. "I'm married to myself right now. That's the only person who's shown up for me without needing applause." The entire room froze. Scrappy dropped his fork. Spice sipped her drink in silence. And Mendeecees? He stood up and walked out. Later, in a solo confessional, Mendeecees broke down. Not with rage, but with regret. "I didn't know I made her feel like she was alone in this. I thought I was doing enough. I guess I thought surviving the past was the win, but I never built the future she deserved." It was the most vulnerable fans had ever seen him. But by that point, the public had already started to shift. A viral post on X read, Yandy carried a marriage, a brand, a family, and when she finally spoke up, she got gaslighted. Sis, leave. The post had over 600,000 likes in 24 hours. Support for Yandy came pouring in from influencers, activists, and women who saw themselves in her silence, her strength, and now her unraveling. Yandy took that moment and did something powerful. She booked a live therapy session, on camera, not with Mendeecees, alone. The scene aired mid-season, and it broke viewers' hearts. Sitting across from a black female therapist, Yandy opened up for real. I thought holding it down meant holding everything, the home, the heart, the hurt. But now I see it meant I held myself back. The therapist nodded. You can be a ride or die, Yandy, but at some point, you have to ask, who's driving? And do they even see where they're going? That line exploded across the internet. Who's driving became a movement. Women began using the quote in captions, stories, and comment sections. Even celebrities jumped in. Kandi Burruss posted it with a side-eye emoji. Portia reposted the clip with the caption, "This is why we need cameras. Because this is healing, not just drama." Back at home, Mendeecees was spiraling. In a private call caught on mic, he told producer Mona Scott Young, "She really don't need me anymore, huh?" Mona responded, "She never did. She chose you, and now she's choosing herself." And that, more than anything, shook him. The reunion filming was only weeks away, and both parties had stopped talking. No texts, no late-night calls, no apologies. Yandy focused on her businesses, her kids, and therapy. Mendeecees stayed low-key, reportedly avoiding cast meetups and dodging storyline suggestions. Even his friends could see it. The man who once begged for a second chance was now drowning in the silence his own pride created. And yet, despite all the heartbreak, Yandy never said divorce. Not once, but the absence of the word made fans even more nervous because it felt like she didn't have to. The distance was loud enough. By the time the reunion taping rolled around, the energy between Yandy and Mendeecees had completely shifted from hurt and heat to something colder, distance. And not just emotional distance, physical, professional, even spiritual. For the first time in the show's history, they arrived in separate cars, used separate glam teams, and were mic'd in different rooms. Producers had to rework the seating chart last minute after Yandy requested not to sit directly beside him. "I'm not trying to embarrass anyone," she reportedly told Mona. "But I'm not going to fake peace where there's none." The reunion set was tense. The usual laughter, side-eyes, and cast jokes were gone. Everyone could feel it. Something had broken that wasn't going to be glued back together by the end of the episode. Spice, Carly, and even Erica were unusually quiet. All eyes were on Yandy and Mendeecees as they entered the stage from opposite sides. Host Nina Parker didn't waste time. "Yandy, Mendeecees, fans have been watching your journey for over a decade. This season, something changed. Where are you two now?" Yandy's response was calm but devastating. "We're not enemies. We're not lovers. We're not even friends right now. We're two people who gave everything to each other and forgot to save anything for ourselves." The audience was dead silent. Mendeecees cleared his throat. "I made mistakes. I held back when I should have leaned in. But I never stopped loving her." Yandy looked down. "Sometimes love isn't loud enough." That line hit like a slap across the soul. What followed was a montage of emotional clips: the rooftop argument, the therapy session, the hotel confrontation, and then something brand new. A private letter Mendeecees had written to Yandy after their last filming day. Producers got permission to air it live. His voice narrated over B-roll footage of their wedding, the kids, and old throwback scenes from Love and Hip Hop New York. "Dear Yandy, you gave me loyalty when I gave you mess. You gave me time when I gave you prison bars. You gave me grace, and I gave you silence. I see you now, not as the woman who held me down, but the woman I should have lifted up. If this is the end, thank you for loving me when I didn't know how to love myself." Tears flowed from the audience, from castmates, and even from Yandy herself. But when asked if it changed anything, she shook her head. It's beautiful. But healing comes with boundaries. And sometimes, love is letting go, not holding tighter. Even Mendeecees looked shattered in that moment. Fans watching live took to Twitter in waves. We just watched a marriage unravel in slow motion. Yandy is grieving a love that couldn't grow. And we're all feeling it. After the break, Mendeecees was asked one final question. If you could go back to that sit-down, the one where it all fell apart, what would you say differently? He paused for a long time, then finally replied, I wouldn't talk. I'd listen. As the reunion lights dimmed and the cast walked off stage, Yandy didn't look back, and Mendeecees didn't chase her. It was the quietest ending to the loudest love story in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta history. No dramatic exits. No second chances. Just a woman reclaiming her peace and a man left holding the weight of too many missed moments. When the credits rolled, fans weren't asking if they'd reconcile. They were wondering if Yandy even wanted him back. In the weeks following the reunion, Yandy unfollowed Mendeecees on all social media platforms, a move that sent shockwaves through their loyal fanbase. She deleted almost every photo of him from her grid, leaving only the ones that included their children. In her IG stories, she shared cryptic quotes like, "You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick," and "Closure is choosing yourself even when you never got an apology." The internet understood. The women understood. Meanwhile, Mendeecees went radio silent. No lives, no updates, just a single black and white photo of himself and the caption, "I lost a real one." But at that point, the comments had already turned on him. You didn't lose her. You let her go. Should have listened when she was still talking. You can't build a kingdom off silence. The backlash was swift, and even some of his supporters started to distance themselves. VH1 was already editing Season 14's teaser trailer, and guess who wasn't in the promo? Mendeecees. Not one shot. Instead, the focus was on Yandy now stepping into her solo arc, rebranding her businesses, mentoring young girls, and launching a podcast titled Still Standing. The first episode, titled When Love Isn't Safe Anymore. And just like that, Yandy went from a storyline to a symbol. In one final confessional that didn't air until the very end, Yandy stared straight into the lens and said, "I didn't lose a husband, I lost my silence. And that's freedom." The screen faded to black. If you've ever had to choose between your peace and your partner, this story was for you. Yandy showed us what strength looks like, not in staying, but in standing up for yourself. If you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or blamed for someone else's emotional baggage, leave a comment in the comments. Share your story, support each other, and hit that like button if you're done clapping for men who won't show up for you. Don't forget to subscribe, because this season of LHHATL isn't just drama, it's healing, heartbreak, and hard truths. Number LHHATL, number Yandy Smith, number Mendeecees Harris, number marriage drama, number black love, number emotional labor, number wifey fatigue, number still standing, number choose your peace, number mic drop moments.